So, Natlan is around the corner along with everything that comes with a new world, and excitement is growing. I already have my exploration party scheduled, and I can't wait for the world quests, archon quests, and lore drops. So, while I'm waiting impatiently, I decided to console myself with a little bit of speculation about the lore, because we were given plenty of crumbs for the coming story in the trailer. This is the Unlikely Genshin Gamer, and welcome to another Genshin lore soundbite. This one is about the upcoming land of Pyro, Natlan. You can think of this as my own little what you missed in the version 5.0 trailer. I know this is a bit late considering the fact that the update is right around the corner now, but it's because I've been analyzing the trailer for a while and listening to the music. First up, we have these ruins being featured here, which are very likely the regional ancient ruins of Natlan. That much is obvious. But what's interesting is that they seem to be dragon-themed. This could imply that the ancient Natlanders, those who were around before the gnosis changed hands, worshipped the dragons instead. And since the Saurians, which means lizard-like, that roam the land now, are related to the dragons and are still in close contact with humans, this is even more plausible. Natlan could be the land where the dragons enjoyed the worship they felt they deserved. Next up, right at this moment, you can spy Enkanomiya-style ruins, which thus far have only ever appeared deep underground in the chasm, in the tunnels of Sumeru, in Narcissan Cruz's strange book of esoteric revelations, and in Enkanomiya itself. For the same ruins, which always have heavy lore implications, to be present here out in the open is definitely going to be interesting for Natlan's history. Now, for those of you who know James Cameron's Avatar, I'm sure you see the similarities between Toruk and the Gold Flame Kukasar Tyrant. They look way too alike for them not to be inspired by the same ancient creature. If anyone knows what that is, let me know in the comments. While we're on pop culture references, I'm also getting a Stranger Things vibe from the Night Kingdom. Most specifically, the Upside Down in Stranger Things. If you all remember, the Upside Down is basically a dark, demonic sort of mirror image of the normal world, and there are sinister creatures prowling around in it. And one can only enter it by supernatural means. This looks kind of like that. And these little sinister spirit-looking things seem to inhabit that place. And they all seem to be congregating towards something or someone. At this point, these totems that seem to be connected to ancient names also seem to be specifically facing this ruin. It's extremely interesting to see this setup in this chamber with a Skyfrost nail peeking through the ceiling. And here we have more of those pre-Draconian war ruins, but they seem far more significant. We even see here what looks like a new kind of ruin machine in a room in the midst of the ruins. This scene here I almost didn't include because it's so obvious that this guy is tapping into abyss powers. But the Conrian text floating about and the coloring like the Night Kingdom leads me to think that either this thing has to do with how one enters the Night Kingdom, or it's a sinister method to corrupt the surrounding space so it becomes like Night Kingdom perhaps. I'm really excited for how much it seems like we're finally returning to the Abyss storyline. Like, when we first enter Teyvat, the enemy we're fighting against in Mondstadt is the Abyss. And then in all the nations after that, it was someone else. But we're finally back to the original antagonists. Lastly, we have a lot of things to say about Capitano and Mavuika. I feel as though this moment when she puts on her glasses is actually significant. Like, perhaps her own light burns so brightly that it could be blinding even to her. She is supposed to be the embodiment of the sun, which should be very interesting for the lore, what with its heavy emphasis on the moon so far. The only one of the ancient gods who was said to have anything to do with the sun was Deshret, and it was noted that he, both in personality and power, would have burned his people were it not for the tempering forces of the Mistress of Flowers and Rukkhadevata, who ruled alongside him. In addition, when her hair lights up, you can see that within it are similar swirling colors like the nation's fire, meaning the two are intertwined, probably beyond just being powered by the gnosis. What if extinguishing either will destroy the other? Like, if Mavuika dies, then the fire that keeps the abyss at bay will go out. Or that if that mighty cauldron is doused, then she would die. And in her confrontation with Capitano, there's something extremely suspicious about him too. Where are his eyes that Mika, Varka's forefront scout, said he could see? Dark blue with an eerie glow to them that he saw back when Capitano's company and Varka's encountered one another. Is it possible he removed that strange helmet back then when he spoke to Varka? Or is something else going on? Also, from what he says here, it sounds like he was letting Mavuika play out her plan to save Natlan until it proved unsuccessful, and now he's going to take over. But that implies that he wanted Natlan to be successful against the Abyss, further proving that the Fatui is no friend of the Abyss, although both parties want to overthrow the Heavenly Principles. Another interesting detail about Capitano is that it looks very possible that he is or is related to whatever Tartaglia's foul legacy form is. We know that Tartaglia does not have on an armor. He has become something else, from looking carefully at his fight scene here. And the pitch black skin and clawed hands look very similar to Capitano's. Even the way they move is similar. Also, there is no cryovision or delusion to be found anywhere on him. This strange cryo power with its sinister edge looks very interesting indeed. On another note, this clash between a red-haired, claymore-using pyro wielder and a dark-haired, foreign cryo sword user is reminiscent of something. I do hope we get more Kaya and Diluc lore in this region, since I'm convinced Diluc has ties back here. Perhaps he has an ancient name that originated from Natlan. But anyway, this little assessment of the trailer is just the product of my excitement and impatience for the new Archon quest and region. Feel free to stick in some of your own speculation down in the comments. Either way, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one.